Hello.
Hello, Mr. Spitzley.
Welcome to our video.
Welcome to our final exam featuring my dog Potter. So I am focusing on the beautiful for my career in product design.
I'm focusing on the truth for my career in industrial engineering.
Both at U of M.
Woo-hoo!
Go blue.
Go blue.
So for my beautiful, I looked at Plato's Symposium, along with his quotes from Diotima and her story on how to see the beautiful. In the document it says that beauty in every form is one of the same. Every form of the beauty is the same because they're like everything is beautiful. And we recognize the same concept of beauty just in different places, people, things. All of this. I don't know. Plato says something similar with truth, where it's you see the same truth, but it's in different things.
From above. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes, because that's kind of what the beauty is with the vast sea, the vast sea of beauty, and continuing out like that. So Diotima talks about first seeing the beauty in an object, then laws, science, society, and then on to the vast sea of beauty. I don't know if truth might work a little differently than that.
Yeah, a little bit. It's more I saw more kind of on Aristotle's version of truth of everything comes from its physical sense. So So it's not you see it in one thing and you're gonna see it and you're gonna see that same truth in everything. You're gonna see each individual's truth. And it's the physical sense of it. So you know everything through your five senses. So anything that. So my amazing sunglasses here. We know that those are sunglasses because they have those sunglasses-ness to them. And only sunglasses have that, not, Potter isn't a sunglass. And that's because Potter's not made of the same form as a sunglass. So he views everything as form and matter. And so I'm trying to think about how you know this because it has its form and then it's have its matter. So its form is how it's made up and what makes it itself, and then its matter is also that as well. So everything is very physical, whereas I think, Plato and his beauty, I think, is everything is there's one thing true and then
Yes. So it's yes, and so the utmost beauty is God, kind of how utmost truth is God, but it's the idea of beauty that is spread through different objects. So opposing this, I actually have Aristotle.
Oh.
Potter, what do you think about that, baby girl? So contrary to Plato, Aristotle believes that the beauty is rooted more in the physical. I know kisses. So where Plato says that beauty is transcendental and the things that we see are a form of perfect beauty, Aristotle says that beauty is rooted in order and symmetry and and things that are a bit more physical. Sorry, Potter is having some emotional issues because my mother is out of town and she is a little depressed right now.
It's okay.
So for Plato, the sciences would be a representation of beauty, but not actual perfect beauty, because the only perfect beauty is God and from God, the perfect form. But Aristotle, a perfectly ordered society or a perfectly symmetrical cube would be the utmost beauty, kind of, in a sense.
Interesting.
And Aristotle also says that the sciences are the chief form of beauty, but for Plato, Plato and Diotima in their little ladder, getting up, seeing the different as you see beauty, you go up and up and up. Science is not the top. You go science, and then you go
in order.
And the vast sea of looking out, vast sea of beauty. God, the transcendental. And so for my form of beauty, I'm focusing on Plato, and Aristotle does not agree with that.
That's interesting because I think that definitely relates to how he sees truth versus how Plato sees truth of Plato sees that one thing being the truth and Aristotle sees each individual thing. So if science is the utmost perfect thing is within that own science rather than it being there being something greater than that because there is no physical greater thing. It's only invisible. But Plato recognizes that. So I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, and Nietzsche is a bit different.
Yeah, and Nietzsche unfortunately does not believe there is an objective truth.
So that's very, very contrasting to Aristotle. Wow.
Because Aristotle, sees that one specific thing having its truth, and that is its truth. Whereas Nietzsche says it's all perspective, it's all illusion, it's all interpretation of the thing. So you can look at it and think, it's the sunglasses, or you can think it's the goggles. It's really up to your interpretation of what kind of life experience you've been on. So there's no fully objective thing, which Plato would definitely struggle with. But I think it's interesting because it's Aristotle, when he when he does like his belief, he also has something called like an doxa, which is like you know, it might not be fully true, but it has truth in it. It has truth in it. It leads to like a truth. So like like the whole like money can't buy you happiness. Like or money does lead to like it can buy you happiness. I messed up the saying there. I mean it can buy you happiness. Yeah. Like in the sense it can't because like experiences you do and all of that.
Yeah, it can't, but it buys the experiences that bring like
or like
my dog. Money bought my dog.
Or like my dog, my cute dog. And it's or like even in the sense of like helping others, like if you have something to give to others, like that does most likely comes from some form of money, and it can help others, and like helping others is one of the best, like in the more medical sense, like dopamine rushes, and like it can help you become a better person, which should lead you to being a happier person. But if you know you kept it all for yourself, then it would be not a true fact coming out of it. But Nietzsche, I think, would believe that that's like completely like all of that's just like
yes. Yeah. So. Product design, econ, or not, I'm econ, you're engineering.
Definitely.
Art and design and econ. So, after Lansing Catholic, my dream is to be a product designer and to work for like American Girl or like a toy company, maybe an equestrian brand, and like design products, toys, things like that. And so this path draws me to the beautiful because I want my designs to be beautiful, not only in like look and aesthetic, but functionally beautiful, and to like have a function that is like great, useful, and like beautiful, a beautiful function. So for me, this like I have a cousin who is 4 years old. He's almost 4, and he's basically fully nonverbal. And he has to go like all these like speech like therapists, these like speech pathologists, like, and he does not like them. He doesn't like talking to them because it's just like it's like a chore. But he loves monster trucks and going to like monster truck rallies. So if there was a toy that was like a monster truck that, you know, he was talking to a monster truck, or even like a game, you know, like something that he like was learning speech with monster, he would like in a way that he would enjoy it. His speech could progress so much more.
That's so cool. Okay, but I have to ask, product design, it's not like something we do at Lansing Catholic, so how'd you get to that?
So, yes. I took mixed media. I actually had 2 classes for this. I took mixed media and furniture design. So one of the project in mixed media was actually designing products.
Oh, wow.
So I designed some equestrian products. It takes a lot of explaining, probably. But I had like a whole slideshow presentation. I designed equestrian products. And then in furniture design, I did software design, designed my whole porch swing, and then built it, did the software and hardware side, which is like necessary for the product design aspect. And so both Mr. Krause and Mr. Engel really helped me like further in this class. So cool. And especially in Mr. Krause, we learned a lot about the beautiful because I did another faith-based project in that class. And so
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow. See, it's cool. I didn't take either of those classes.
I'm the only girl in furniture design.
I'm studying industrial engineering next year, but I'm also minoring in political science. And so so I'm kind of in this like weird debate. Either I want to create roller coasters, but that's not what I'm going to touch on because or I want to work for the government to optimize the way the government runs. So all industrial engineering is using math and sciences to optimize systems and make them more human-centered. And so especially in the government, combining that, you're doing everything you can to make sure that the government serves the people and it's by the people. And so everything you're doing is always like leading Constitution, leading people. It's leading to help people, and eventually like you're doing that, but you're always looking at the objective truth. And so that's why like I definitely sided on Aristotle's thing of like everything has its objective truth, but with engineering, everything you're doing is hands-on. Like there's no really like one project you can take things to the other project, but like each project you have to look at what's individually in yours, what's the fundamentals for every single thing, and so you have to take it.
That's kind of that's fine.
You have to take it all individually. You can like take your fundamentals, but you can't look at it as one big broad scope. Like one thing is not going to apply to another thing, and you're also using your 5 senses to do it. So shout out Aristotle. But I think I kind of came to this realization not in drafting class. Sorry, Mr. Pohl, but more in Mr. Salo's Brit Lit class last year, because a lot of what we do, believe it or not, is listening to is having these conversations that not necessarily always have concrete evidence to them. And so I spent a lot of time last year searching up for concrete evidence to usually try to disprove his own point. I didn't succeed very often. But Ellie can attest. I didn't succeed that often. But
That's pretty epic.
yeah.
The like credit card one? Crazy
That was
times.
crazy. Or the AP credits.
AP credits. Oh my goodness.
But
Thought said
I
AP.
loved it, and I loved that like everything you were doing was so like tangible and so it wasn't abstract. Like I can't do abstract. Like trying to think of like reading a book and trying to trying to like read a book, and like we were doing Ride of the Ancient Mariner, and he was like, okay, I need you to visualize that this is going on and like just believe that like the albatross is a symbol for something. And I was like, no, what if the albatross actually means something else? And we got this a lot. I was like, the albatross might be a symbol for something else. Like who knows if the albatross actually caused this thing? You don't have tangible evidence for it. And so that definitely showed me that I'm not necessarily for opinions. One, I need my concrete facts, so sorry, Nietzsche. But I also need to be able to look at it from a more experimental type. And so that's why I want to do industrial engineering.
Bye, Mr. Spitzley.
Bye, Mr. Spitzley.
Bye, say goodbye. Bye.